Bit of a different format tonight, guys. We're literally doing BTS style. I'm prepping for a potential new customer on tomorrow, which I'm going to go see. And tonight I'm just preliminary prepping, making sure that everything is up and running and a-okay. So, roll the intro and then we'll get to it. Right, so it's Byron Phillips from byronphillipsmedia.com, and the sound is going to be awful, and that's very deliberate because at the moment I'm prepping for a new client, and I'm meeting with the client tomorrow, and one of the requirements is, well, I say one of the requirements, but one of the things that we are going to like to achieve is actually doing like a 5 to 6 minute interview. And one of the things that I need to get right is the audio. So this is why the audio sucks, because it's on a short mic and this is about 3 feet away, and this is how the audio is going to sound. So one of the things, so bear with me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a lav mic, and the reason why I'm doing this is the first time I've done this, well, that's a bloody lie actually, I'm going to tell you this now. It's not the first time, because I tried this on another video that I'd done the other day, testing, and the shotgun mic actually failed and the audio was tinny like this, and I had to rely on the shotgun mic, but the lav mic. Now this is a cheap lav mic that I bought off Amazon ages ago. I don't even remember when I bought it, but it was such a long time ago. But I've just not used it. I was originally using it on the iPhone when I had that, because when I was doing a bit of boarding, it was just easier to have the lav mic there. Now I've just literally done this BTS earlier on, and this worked a charm until I didn't realise it popped out of the actual plug socket. So I need to find a better way of making sure that this bad boy stays in. But the actual sound quality I was pretty pleased with. So the way that this is going to work is that we are going to strap this in to the inside of my shirt. I'm not familiar, I've not used lav mics a whole lot, and I've had to go online to find some sort of like tutorials to see how to get good audio with these, and there's loads of stuff out there, but until you actually practice with them, you're not going to know the quirks. And it's all well and good thinking that, yeah, I got this nailed, until the day of the shoot, and then something goes wrong. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually just putting the first bit of duct tape onto one side in a triangle. The triangle that I did before was certainly not with a triangle, it was more with a square, but it still worked. So the concept is there, I know that it works, I just gotta get that to stop popping out. So if anybody's got any suggestions on how you get the audio jack to not pop out, that would be amazing. Now I know there may be some of you who are saying, well, why don't you just buy a proper system? And I'm going to, but right now I've made a concerted choice to stop spending money and actually start earning and paying back stuff, because I'm going through a stage of gear acquisition, and this is fucking sticky, and it's a nightmare. It is at the moment. Right, so from what I've been told, make sure that the actual mic is nestled inside, and that, there we go. So this is gonna pop in, so fingers crossed. A flashlight talk to you guys. So when I had it before, it seemed to work quite well, which was around about here. Stick. Nice. Get it off my fingers. And then press that there. Inconspicuous. Now, this is where the fun happened the last time, and said mic popped out. So I need to find a way of keeping that in, but fingers crossed. Testing. So we are recording with the mic. So if all has gone well, I'm just going to sync. Hopefully that should have sorted out. So we should be on better audio. But what I'm going to do right now is actually try sticking this in, because this needs to be stuck in better, and I'm going to try and loop this around and keep this onto my thing so that it, fingers crossed. We're still recording. Yay! I mean, yay! Sorry, that was just in case that was really loud. I was just really excited. Now the proof is, I need to move about and do shit. So let's put this back in my pocket and away to go. But first things first, I'm going to reply to my message. And we are still recording. Yes, we are. Amazing. Now, the nice thing with RecForge is that you can actually turn your phone off by the power, and hopefully it'll all still work. So the last time I did this, it came out. I didn't feel it coming out. That's the bad thing. So let's keep this in there. Let's push you in. Right. Okay. Do a dance. Must do a dance. Right. So one of the things, so hopefully we're on better audio. If not, I give you full permission to fucking skip out. In fact, I probably won't even post this if the audio's crap. So after the last client, one of the things that I found very, very difficult is white balancing, especially in two different locations. Even though you're in the same location, I know this sounds daft, but when I was, the person was cutting the hair, the lighting when I was standing this side seemed different to when I was standing this side and the camera was facing this way. So having to get those two shots to match, I found difficult. And even though I was doing a lot of setting the custom white balance using these little cards and the exposure cards, I was still, when it came to editing, I found this to be a pain in the ass. I think it was one of the things that I really wanted to get better at. The other thing as well was the actual tilter nano. I need to work out on actually seeing if that's going to fail again, so I'm going to be testing that tonight. So we'll probably end up being switching from this to the actual iPhone. It just depends on how things go tonight and all that. So one of the, I've got a bit of, it's not cork board, but it's like polystyrene board that you can get from like any arts and crafts store. I've got a few of this. I was using this as reflective board to bounce light off for shots, but I've bastardized one, so I'm just going to take one of these tomorrow as a bigger source, because when you set the custom white balance on the G7, it gives you like a small rectangle and you have to like fill the board in. Now the problem is with that is that those cards are really small, and if you need to be further away or what have you, it is a pain in the ass. I know you can zoom in, but then yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. So that hopefully this will make things a bit easier. And on the other side is I've drawn some pretty pictures, and what this is going to do is going to help me with focusing, because that was the other issue. Even though you've got the field view monitor by Desview and the R7, I'm loving that, by the way, and I need to do a review on that because it's proven to be really good. But even though I've got that, in areas where it's difficult to focus on high contrast, low contrast places, I needed something as a good reference point, and I'm going to try this and see how this goes. And it's just literally me drawing circles on the same board on the other side. So one will be for white balance, and then I can use this then for the actual focusing. And then I'm still going to be using this 18% card, grey card. Now it's 18% reflective, so let's make sure that it's understood. This will help me set my exposure. So what I tend to do is I tend to have this mounted and move it about so I can see the line going back and forth on the actual monitor, and I set that to around 5 on the actual scale, so between 4 and 5. So that way, I got a base point for things like skin tones and all that. But that depends on if there's people in the shot or what have you. But I generally try to aim for about 5 with the field view monitor. So the next thing I gotta do, I gotta practice the actual setting up of the gear, because in one of the other videos I showed my mini system that is basically a tripod on wheels with a slider, but I find that really helps with setting things up. Now I'm just going to do that now so I can do a bit of practice and get everything sorted. Adult Chrome system. So one of the things that I also was testing the other day, and the reason why I'd done the video of the workflow, which I'll try and link in one of these places, is that because I knew I was doing the documentary, I tried out 1 or 2 different things. The first was I had the boom mic, the shotgun mic overhead. I also had the lav, and I also used the Adult Chrome system to provide some very slight motion. Excuse me, that drink is like repeating. So what I found is that I have 6 batteries for the Adult Chrome system, and what's going to happen is that 2 batteries, one on the slider, one on one of the head one, in a continuous motion going back slow, that it chewed through within a half hour. So I might not do that on the day. It depends on if I can actually charge a set of batteries. If I go through 2 or what have you, I might ask if I can charge at the client site, so that when it comes to the actual interview at the end of the day, because I want to get this done when things are done and dusted and the person is a lot more comfortable with me being in the environment, that's when I'm going to be doing the interview. And if I've got 2 batteries spare from the day, then I'll use the system to do the actual main A-roll of the actual interview itself, so that'll give some nice dynamic movement. But that really all depends on how the day goes and if I can charge any batteries. If not, it'll just be a case that I'll just use the pan head as the mount and just leave the camera in a static scenario, and literally just then use some B-roll to for segments as the interview's going ahead. So what we are going to do is we're going to set up the feet. Now this is the newer dolly. It is like that. It's nice and compact, and this will form the base. So this allows me to make that whole tripod system maneuverable, and it is working out an absolute treat. Now I wouldn't suggest you use this as an actual dolly, so if you're thinking about using this to do all your panning and your pushing shots, you can do it. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's by the by. But personally, I purchased this purely so that I could get the tripod on and everything moving about. Just put that there. So the next is the Manfrotto 055 tripod. This is not mine. This is being kindly stolen from my father. So thanks for that, Dad. Just adjusting the legs a bit for this. So they go in there like so. Gonna be brilliant, and that's how it looks. So it literally goes on like that, and this is the base of the system itself. So the next point, to get everything mounted, like the field view monitor, the Des View monitor, the R7, we're using the slider. Now this is an old slider that I purchased that I just wasn't using a while back, and what I've done is that I've got two carriages on this, so that means I can mount my fluid head to one side and then the Edelkrone system can go on the other. I got places to mount the monitor and microphone arms, and there's other brackets that you can put on to literally make a station. So the beauty of this is that I can have everything I need on here, and I can put it on the tripod and have it as a station. But if I need it off the tripod, I can literally use two of these, which are tripod legs. These will fit in the 1/4" thread that are in here, and then this then can become a tabletop station. So it can go from here to here relatively quickly. The only reason why it doesn't go pretty quickly at the moment is because I don't have a quick release plate, and this is something that I'm gonna get for here. But as it stands right now, it's just fitting directly onto the actual tripod itself. And the reason why I want a quick release plate is because I just get the feeling that after a while this thread is gonna wear out, which will mean I'll need to get another slider, and that's probably about 40 quid or something cheap just to hold everything in place. I really like the one that I got, and for the sake of £12 I can get a quick release plate, chuck it on, clip, tighten it, bada bing bada boom, I'm good to go. I can already have the feet, the tripod feet attached. I just got it on that one at the moment, and it works out great. Now the handy thing is that these legs then, when they come up, I actually use these as hooks for cables. So if I ever got like a long 3-meter cable for the monitor, I'm actually using the excess is actually being used as hooks. So just chuck the fluid head on. So the majority of the stuff that I own is by Newer. Now, this is not me advertising or what have you, it's just that it's within my price range. So that is where I am going with things. So that is the fluid head on. So that means I can do nice pans and tilts if I unlock it. But even still, that can be positioned out the way, and I got more room for the Edelkrone system here. But the fact that they both mounted at the same time means it's going to save me a whole lot of effort. The next thing is the actual microphone arms. These can be either used for microphones or lights, and it'll actually hold a mobile phone with a moment lens on it. And the reason for that is I do plan on doing some BTS in the future. Now, this will be partly used for the interview, so I can get this set up out the way. So that's nice and stable, and the good thing with this is that the actual arms extend quite a bit, so I can actually mount a shotgun microphone pretty close to the person's face and be out of shot, and also have the lav. So fingers crossed that works out perfect. Tonight is all about making sure that the lav works as well as it does, that I'm practicing the setup and it all works as it should, and I'm familiar with my equipment. And as you can see, the benefit of this is that because it's on the legs, I don't need to worry about picking it up, because that's the nightmare when you've got a tripod system set up. You get everything stationary, you get everything static, and then you might have to change composition, which means you've got to pick the tripod up with all the equipment to move it. So it's just a case of this and then down without breaking shit. But with this, when the wheels are unattached, just fetch it with you. Brilliant. Brilliant. Pleased with myself. I'm very pleased with myself. So you put that down. So the other reason for the arms is that you can attach lights, and you can attach either a microphone or a mobile phone on it. So, and the reason for that is that this will hold a mobile phone with a moment lens. I think I got the 18mm, which gives a nice wide field of view. With that, with a lav mic, so when I'm not doing interviews, I can do stuff like this for myself, and hopefully it'll work out great. And it holds the weight of a mobile phone, so I don't worry about that. I have tried it and tested it, and it's been working out great. But the point is that it's nice and small. It's the width of me, so if I can get through a door, then this should. Not that I'm saying I'm big, because I'm not. There's some monsters out there. Right. So as part of the other prep as well for the client, obviously we're going to be doing the interview. So I've been spending a lot of the night and a lot of the day researching about the customer. So it's amazing how much you can find out on Instagram and Facebook on a person's business. So that has allowed me to set up some questions that I'm going to be taking to the customer tomorrow, and working out exactly what it is that they need and have a look through the questions and are they happy with that, or is there anything that they want to add or they feel that could be included. So hopefully tomorrow is going to go really well. So what am I doing next? Right, so the 30-minute timer run out on the G7, so that's one of the things that I gotta get used to with this, is that it's not going to do continuous recording, it'll only do up to 30 minutes. But I will point out that that has worked, so I'm not sure if you can actually, I'll do it here. So what I've done is I've literally put a bit of duct tape strapped around here and down to the sides of the phone, and this is working a treat, and it is still recording, so we should still have good audio. Now, where I originally was yapping or talking was, we have the Edelkrone system. Now, I just mounted this to here, and the way that I've been liking this is that the head one first, then this, then another head one in the pan mode. And the reason being for that is that I find that there's less bounce if you get it, but I'm not getting that anymore because they've fixed the issue, so they've sent out a new one. So yeah, here's another thing. Got these cases in a pound shop. They were VR cases, and they came with like a cleaning kit and everything for £2. So I grabbed the last 3, and I was just like, oh, it's amazing, and they've worked out perfect. So like in this I can get 2 head ones and the new Tilt V2 kit. Bargain. So like I said, 1 head one first. Right, little tip. Do not over tighten these, or do not attempt to tighten them until you get a battery in, because it engages the motors, which allows you to apply a little bit more torque. There we go. And then I take it out. I put the head one on. When I tighten this, I lift up and turn it. There we are. So that's on there. And then I really do love this new Tilt Kit V2. Let me just get this out the way for a second. Is much better. It keeps the center point of gravity over. So I'm going to put it here, keep this in line with that. This new bracket makes everything much more easier to work with. So the reason why I'd done this with the slider is so that I can be quite flexible in my approach on shooting. So I know from the short list that I've got B-roll to do, I've got interviews, I got handheld, and everything has a quick release plate on it. So this has a quick release plate ready on the actual tilt kit. There's a quick release plate on the pan head. There's a quick release plate on the gimbal, on the fly cam, and this will be pre-balanced already with the camera in mind. So The whole purpose then is that I can switch from this to this to that to handheld very, very quickly with minimal fuss. And I don't like fuss, so it's always good. So I'm just putting in, because the holes that are in the side are 3/4 inch thread, and the tilt kit is a 1/4 inch, so you need those adapters, the reducers, so that you can get this sorted. And the nice thing with these new tilt kits is that they come with spirit levels already, so you can adjust it. Sweet. Now, and there, let's get you out the way. Get you there. Let's get you connected. Let's just test. You're still in, great. So I'm just going to quickly make sure that everything is still working. Nothing worse than a surprise to find out that something's gone wrong. Ah, look at that. Head 1 firmware. Ain't that lucky? Right, so we're starting that. Now what I found with the tablet, which is a cheapo thing, is that one thing I need to do is work out a place to attach this so that it can be quite close, because one of the things that I'm finding with this is that it is disconnecting a lot with this. The phone is a lot better, the one that's in my pocket, but this Alba tablet disconnects from it quite a lot, and it is done my head in last night. And it would literally disconnect in the middle of a move, and that really, really done my Sweden. Really done my Sweden. So move you. Now the way that I mount this is that I have a tripod. This goes on the end, and then I usually put it, where do I usually put it? I'll put it here. For today, I'll put it here. I know that it's going to be like that, so like this. Where are you? That goes like that. So now, got the monitor and everything. The only thing I haven't got on now, see, is the camera. I'm just going to make sure that that's okay. just in case you're wondering, in the bag I've got a toolbox, and that is quite literally holding all the batteries and everything. That's coming on nice. So like I said, once I get the quick release plate for this, and I attach the two tripod stands, the feet, I can literally undo the quick release plate and it be a one unit, and it's all one system ready to go without having to do anything. That is really, really good. Right, let's check this. Oh, dude, so just gonna test each one again with this, just make sure. So always wait for the beep. So I'm gonna put the other two batteries in. Because the only thing I find with this system is that whenever you're changing the configuration, you've got to take the batteries out and put them back in. So on 100%, this usually takes about 20 seconds to get from point A to point B, but I don't know why. So I like having the head one first, then the slider, then the pan, because you're still getting the same effect as this and this as one unit. I'm just more comfortable about there being less weight on the slider when traveling, because you're gonna have to take it when it's on the slider. You've got this head one on the slider, then you've got another head one for the pan, and there we go, just done it. So I'm gonna pair that again. Luckily everything is saved, but that's what I was having. It's dropping out on the actual pad. I had this quite a lot last night. So pause one should be to the right, well that's the right side, and then the move, so you can get much more dynamic movements. The only difference is if you want to do a parallax shot where it's dead center and you want it to move here to here and you want it dead center, then you've got to have the pan head on here. There's just no other way it will work. But if you want to swing in motion or this, then this is a nice way to go. It is. So if I set that to pose 2, this is 100%, just to give you an idea of the speed. There we go. And since they've replaced the heads, this is much smoother. I'm really happy. I was a little bit concerned when it started going, because I paid a lot of money and it just wasn't doing what it was meant to be doing. Right, okay, so that is that. They're all updated. That's powering off. That's coming on. That's working. The setup's fine. I know the lights are fine. Testing the lav mic. I used that for the white balance and the focus card to see if that helped with this today. And I'm going to spend the rest of the night prepping for the client tomorrow. So I still got like the product video shortlist to go through, the shop aesthetics and more part of the community that they want to go through. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I might post this, I might not. It really does depend on how it's gone and the quality, and if the lav has worked as well as I hope it has. So thank you for joining me. The last thing that I got to sort out is testing the follow focus, but I will do that tomorrow night because I got time to sort that out. Then I want to make sure I get this shot list done. Like, I'll use that as a backup. But yeah, thanks for joining me. It's just a BTS of me kind of prepping for potential new client, making sure that everything is still working and that what's in my mind and the little tweaks that I think are gonna work will help. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you again if this works. Cheers.